Education changes you as a person. Let's say you like the color blue and I like the color pink. And I hate you because you like the color blue. But if I was educated on the color blue, I understood the value of the color blue and I understood what that means through education. So when I come to you and I see that you love the color blue, even though I don't,
I accept it.
I will respect your point of view.
Danya Mohammed, known to be as Diva Dee. She is a versatile female icon who has left a mark in a realm of entertainment and entrepreneurship. You recognize her as the first Emirati female on Netflix hit show Dubai Bling, showcasing not only her captivating personality, but also her journey as a businesswoman. You're well known for your fashion in the fashion industry. What's your approach to fashion?
I think it starts from
Welcome back, Alphas, to a new inspiring episode of the Alpha Talks podcast. Today in the studio, I've got a very special Alpha for you today. Today, we have the honor of hosting a remarkable individual, Danya Mohammed, known as Diva Dee, who wears many hats: entrepreneur, actress, beauty blogger, and an influential figure in the world of fashion and lifestyle. Today, we have the privilege of delving into the life and experience of the one and only Danya Mohammed, known as Diva Dee. So, welcome to the Alpha Talks podcast.
Thank you so much. What an amazing introduction.
You deserve it.
I
really.
always feel uncomfortable when people say good things about me. I don't know how to act, but that was really nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank
it's
you
an
for
honor
having
for
me.
us. The first question I usually ask is, let's say when we publish the episode and people will look at the thumbnail, they will see the title and they will think it's extremely interesting. What can you promise them today to gain if they gave us their time? Just anything.
I think what they will gain is to, they're gonna definitely see that what they see on Dubai Bling, maybe it's not all of me. There's deeper layers to me. Also, I think people, like with whoever you have a conversation with, you learn something new. It could be from like a child.
True.
You could learn something from someone, a 2-year-old to an 80-year-old. Like every people from different walks of life, you can learn from them. So I don't want to say, I don't want people to watch this just because I'm on the show, but I think even the conversation that we're having, there might be something that they'll pick up on that might change their life. We don't know.
True. I love this answer. Let's start off. How do you feel today?
I feel tired.
Yeah.
Very tired.
We share this.
Yes. I've been working nonstop all the time. I have this drive to do more, even though sometimes, my friends are like, well, you've got to that point where, you've gotten to Netflix. Like, what more do you want? And I'm like, no, I want more. I want to work, and I feel like just sitting and doing nothing, I can't. My brain is constantly thinking. Even if I have nothing to do, I think of another business idea or a business, a video that I'm going to put on my YouTube, or I'm always thinking.
Who is Danya from your perspective? If I ask you, who's Danya?
Wow. From my perspective, I see Danya as a mother. So that is the most, a title that I'm very proud of, being a mother. Also, I'm a wife. Also, I'm a daughter. So these are all titles that go back to my family, because my family are everything to me. Put the world aside and my family side, obviously I would choose my family. There's not a lot of people maybe these days that would choose that. If you give them all the wealth in the world or whatever, they would be like, we want that over our family. So my family are who made me, and those are the titles that I'm always proud of to be.
I love that.
And then after my priority, which are my family, then after that, I would label myself as an entrepreneur, as a YouTuber, as the first Emirati reality star on Netflix. So yeah, these are the other titles that I would give myself.
Okay, I'll go a little bit backwards, and we start from the very, very beginning. Why you were born in Russia?
You're the second person that asked me that. I've never been to Russia.
No way.
Someone just randomly wrote an article about me that I was born in Russia. I don't know how they came up with that. but I've never been to Russia. I was not born there. I'm actually born in Abu Dhabi. I'm Emirati, but I would love to go to Russia.
Wow. So you're not born in Russia?
No,
It's
I'm not.
all over the internet.
That's so
So
funny.
we need to change it.
Yeah.
She's not born in Russia.
Yeah.
A quick note, I find this incredibly intriguing. On the back end of our YouTube channel, it says around 75% of you who watch this channel frequently over the lifetime of this channel haven't yet hit the subscribe button. I just wanted to ask you for a favor. It helps this channel so much if you choose to just subscribe. It helps us invite guests that give you great value. It helps us scale the production and as well makes this show bigger and bigger for you. And if you enjoyed the previous episodes and you're currently enjoying this episode, could you please hit the subscribe button? I love your support. It's incredible to see all your comments and engagement, and we are just starting. Thank you so much, and I will repay this gesture by making sure that everything we do on this show makes it bigger, and better. I'm committed to do this promise. Do we have a deal? Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to me.
So let's go a little bit into your childhood. Can you tell us some memories from your childhood or about your family, a little bit, your upbringing?
So growing up, I grew up in Abu Dhabi. I went to an American school from kindergarten until I graduated, the same school, same friends group. Nothing changed, like I had a very stable childhood, very happy childhood. My parents allowed me to, express who I am in regards to the way I speak, to my fashion sense, they accepted me the way I am. My parents never tried to enforce anything on me, which is why whenever they ask me for something, I openly accept because I do it out of love, not out of force. So I think I am and was a very loved child, and I received a lot of love from my parents, and I still do. And I think I'm very lucky to have that. So maybe a lot of kids.
Family values for you is very high, I see.
Absolutely, yeah.
Another part of you, which I really, really respect, when I got to know you and I understood that you have masters in project management and even doing a PhD in project management.
Well, no, I'm planning on doing a PhD, but not in project management. I'm looking at doing it in probably something with sustainability. I haven't done it yet. It's my goal to do a PhD.
But how is education important to you, even now? Because, okay, I won't say you're top of the hill, being a star, a blogger, influencer, and still pursuing education.
So growing up, education was really important to me. I from a young age, and my dad always used to say, I'm a Muslim, so my dad always used to say the first word in the Quran is iqra,
True.
which means read. So he always encouraged me to read and always encouraged me to seek education. So in school, I was always learning. And then I did this program in school called the International Baccalaureate Program, which is IB.
Yeah.
So IB teaches you to, further understand, education and question everything and all of that. So I think it was these small seeds that were planted into my head from a young age. And it was the love I had for education. So then I did my undergrad in international affairs and minor in psychology. Then I decided to do my master's in project management. And PhD was something that I always wanted. I think that's the last level of education,
True.
right? Getting a PhD. And now with my crazy lifestyle, I still don't want to give up on that promise that I did to myself, saying I will get my PhD one day. So even if I get it and I don't ever use it, it's just a promise I did to myself, and I want to fulfill that promise.
What's your opinion? These days, a lot of entrepreneurs, what you see them on social media, they say there is no need for education. You just need to have the skills needed. Don't send your kids to universities. What's your opinion on that?
So there's two opinions. There's the opinion where they say Steve Jobs never went to university and he's one of the most historical people on the planet and he changed the world and all of that. And there's also the other side where education is a very beautiful thing, whether you get a degree and work in that degree or whether you don't. So I've done my master's. I'm not working in anything related to what I studied. I studied politics. I never went into politics. I studied psychology. I'm not a therapist. There's all these education changes you as a person. It allows you to be empathetic for other people. It allows you to, be understanding a sector.
True.
Education, like I think,
Structures your mind in a way.
absolutely. And regardless of what you learn, I think you should always learn. And the thing is, like, right now we're living in a very hard time. There's so many wars going on.
True.
There's so many different groups that don't get along with each other, argument. And I think it comes down to a lack of education, right? So
Proper education.
proper education. So I think if people were well educated, like for example, let's say I'm not going to talk about religion, I'm not going to talk about countries, I'm going to talk about colors. Let's say you like the color blue and I like the color pink. And I hate you because you like the color blue. But if I was educated on the color blue and I understood what the value of the color blue and I understood what that means through education. So when I come to you and I see that you love the color blue, even though I don't,
I accept it.
I will
Understand it.
respect your point of view. So education is very deep, and I always, like, my children will always be educated. I always will push them to do, pursue their career in education and so forth.
Everybody will speak to you. We always get bling as the first thing to talk about, but I'll talk from a different angle now. Entrepreneurship, and you wear different hats. You have different businesses. Tell us a little bit about it, like why you have this entrepreneurial spirit in you. Besides having, your name is already enough.
I think.
You have a cap brand, am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think it starts from a lot of aspects. It's like there's so many different reasons. But let me tell you my reason.
Yeah.
So my first business was BYD, and that was my streetwear cap line, which I started 2013, and I was in university around that time, and it was the first time I went to New York. And I saw children, like not children, but the younger generation, hustling and starting businesses. And, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, New York is really the city of hustle.
True.
Right? So when I saw that, I'm like, I want to like do something. Like I want to start a brand. So I'm like, like I came up with this idea of mermaid. I love the word mermaid. I always thought I was a mermaid. So I'm like, let me put it on a cap. So I found like a font that is mermaid in Arabic calligraphy. And I put it on a cap, and I went to Chinatown in New York, and I went to a shop and I said, make me 12 caps that says mermaid, just 12 caps. So I wore it, and in New York, I was getting so many compliments. Everyone's like, oh, we love your cap. Then I came back to the UAE, and everyone's like, oh, where's this cap from? We want to get it. So there was an interest.
Wow.
So I'm like, this could be a business. Like I was still in university. So I'm like, okay, let me create this into a business. And it's easy, it's just something small. It's just a cap line. And then when there was interest and people started wearing it, like I would go out and I see a few people wearing my caps. Like it was a proud moment for me. So then I pursued it. I did more designs and it started with that. It just started with an idea. It started with being motivated,
And
right?
taking an action on it.
Taking an action. So then after that, my other business was YouTube. So my husband was doing vlogs every day. And I was like, sometimes he put me on his vlogs and I was so shy and, all of that.
Yeah.
So then one day I traveled to Sweden for a music festival. And I told Bliss, I'm like, give me your vlogging camera. I'll vlog for you. And you can use this content and use it for your channel, right? Like, that's a favor for any content creator. So he's like, yeah, sure. So I went, I filmed for 3 days. I came back, I gave him the content, and he's like, he put it into his videos, and he used 3 days worth of content. Only 30 seconds made it onto the video. So to me, it was like
oh my God.
It was like, like I was heartbroken. So I'm like, all this hard work in only 30 seconds. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to use this content. I'm going to create my own YouTube channel. So I sat down with the content. I didn't know how to edit videos. I went onto my laptop, iMovie. I started YouTubing. How do you edit movies, videos on iMovie? I taught myself. It took me like for maybe a 10-minute video. It took me maybe 6-7 hours to edit that video.
Wow.
But I did it, and I did another video. So out of these 3 days of filming, I got 4 vlogs out. So then I'm like, okay, now that I have 4 edited vlogs, how do I? What's the name that I'm going to choose for my channel? So my friends in Sweden were calling me, oh my God, you're such a diva. I was complaining. So they're like, you're such a diva, Diva Dee. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, let me just put Diva Dee.
Yeah.
And that's how I came up with the name Diva Dee. So it started from my YouTube channel. So then I did YouTube and I was getting like...
How did you break the fear of being in front of camera? Because a lot of people like this is like, oh, I don't want to make content. I'm not comfortable in front of camera.
I think it was definitely my husband, you know, like, because he was doing vlogs, he was putting me on camera. I was seeing how I looked on camera. I'm like, oh, I don't look bad. He does it all the time. He was my, like, I was learning from him subconsciously. You know what I mean? So I kind of knew how to do it. And then when I was editing the videos, I realized like what mistakes I was doing while
shooting. And
I always like, this is an advice I give everyone. If you want to start your own YouTube video channel and you want to be successful, you need to edit your own videos. If you give it to someone else, it's not going to be successful. Like unless you're like already a developed person, then okay. But
I like this advice.
Till this day, I edit my own videos.
No way.
I swear, I don't give it to anyone, and
to see the mistakes and work it out.
At some point, I think I'm going to give it to people, but till this day, I edit my YouTube videos because I feel like I can only tell my own story. No one else knows me as well.
In the way you want it.
Yeah.
Correct.
So anyway, so then the whole YouTube, the reason why I brought YouTube up, because that's like another business for me, because I have a stream of income from YouTube. So I started posting videos, barely getting views. Then one day I'm like, let me do research. So, you know, when you do education, you learn about research, right? So I'm like, let me research on what are the videos right now on YouTube that are trending, that are doing well, and let me figure that out. So during that time, there was this trend about worst reviewed makeup artists in my city. So I went and I like YouTube them, and I went through maybe like 20, 30 videos, like from the most viewed to like maybe 10, 20 views on it. And I took what I thought works and what doesn't work, what music works, what kind of, you know, all.
Wow.
I did a lot of research. So then I'm like, okay, let me film this video. So I went to a worst reviewed place. I filmed, I did my makeup. It was disaster. And then I started using different things from different videos that I saw that worked. And I was writing my thoughts on when the lady was doing my makeup, I was writing my thoughts. I'm like, oh my God, this makeup is so bad. Like it was just, it was funny because my thoughts in general, I'm a funny person. A lot of people don't know that, but I'm actually very funny. So I did it and I'm like, oh, this video is definitely going to do well. Like I'm going to get 2,000 views on it. You know, before I was getting 100, maybe like 200 was my maximum amount of views, right? But this time I'm like, I'll get like 2,000. It's going to be a good video. I woke up the next day, I was at 5,000 views. And the day after 15, it just kept going up. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, it was crazy. And then in 1 month, I hit 1 million views on that video. And that's what made
the whole thinking process,
my YouTube
focus,
career. Really, that's what really, that one video that I used research that comes back to education is what made my YouTube channel. And then since then, I had like over 10 viral videos. My views on my channel were over 25 million views on my YouTube channel. So that's how I began the career of a YouTuber.
True. Nothing happens haphazardly.
No.
You said education, research to find the right thing and do it.
Everything is related.
How long did it take you? Because a lot of people are asking, how long does it take to reach this? Okay, it has to go viral and. But how long did it take you to reach this level?
Okay, maybe I was lucky, but it took me 6 months. From when I started to when I hit my viral video.
Very lucky.
Very lucky. No, really. And I think,
but you did the groundwork. That's the thing.
I did a lot of research.
It's not like just videoing something and put it and just crossing finger that things will happen.
I think everything just worked out. I think the fact that people found me funny, the fact that the makeup was so bad and the makeup artist did so many mistakes, that was something. These are all things
factors
that worked out, So it was great. So that was YouTube is a stream of income for me. Then after YouTube, I decided to go into event planning, which is the other business that I have with my business partner called The Picnic. So it's like picnic, but with a V. Yeah, like a funny twist on it.
Our twist. Our culture twist.
Our Arab twist, The Picnic. So I did that, and that's basically it works only in the winter time when the weather is good, and we do beautiful setups on Dubai beaches or parks, and you have the Dubai skyline. It's a very nice thing to do with your friends.
Why this idea came to you?
Okay, so one
Very
day.
diversified. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So I went from apparel to
True.
content to event
Events.
planning. Yeah. Basically, I was like just on the beach during the winter, like just walking, and then I saw that there was so many different, like not so many, but there was a few companies that were setting up like setups on the beach, and I'm like, they look so bad. I can do it so much better.
An opportunity.
Opportunity, and I just took it and I did it, and like I enjoyed it. Like everything I do, I enjoy. You know, it's not something I do by force. I'm like, oh my god, I need to do this to make money, or like I don't. If you go into a business thinking of money, it's not going to be successful.
True.
You need to go into a business loving it, and then money comes after. So if there's passion in the work that you do, eventually you're going to be
There's
successful.
a lot of challenges you face, and you have to pass through it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell me about Bling. How did this? Okay. Content, apparel, events, Bling. How this, first of all, how did this opportunity appear to you? And how did you accept it or think about it? Because it's not an easy one.
Yeah. So basically, how it happened was they actually reached out to my husband and they wanted him on the show because he's an Emirati DJ, super controversial, not common. You don't find an Arab DJ. Like, it's
True.
not common, right? So they reached out to him. He first thought it was a prank. He thought it wasn't real. Then he said, okay, yeah, he had an interview with them. They're like, yeah, we want you. And then he's like, you know, you should meet my wife. She's crazy. And then they're like, okay, we'll meet her. So then they met me. They're like, oh, wow, like, we love you, like, your personality, you're perfect for this show. We want you on. So I'm like, okay, cool, like, let's do it. Because before, like, me and Bliss always watch reality TV. We love reality TV. And always when we're watching, we're like, wouldn't it be so cool if we were on a reality
Star
TV?
Academy timing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I've watched
okay.
Star Academy. We've watched Love and Hip Hop, which is an
Yeah.
American reality TV. I watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So there's so many
Yeah.
reality TV that I love. So for us to be on one, it was like, you know, something that we're like, why not? You know, we'd be perfect for it. And it wasn't something that we thought, oh, maybe we should think about it. We said, let's just do it.
Nice.
Life is about experiences. Some good, some bad, but you should take the experience.
But as a first reality show, challenges, of course. Tell us about it. In a reality show.
Yeah, I think when people watch reality TV, they think it's so like glamorous and so easy and all of that, but they don't know the hours that go into filming, the hours that go into getting ready, the hours that go into choosing outfits, the hours that we spend away from our kids. Like, there's so much that goes into it. And it's long hours and it's tiring, and there's also drama in between everything that's happening. So it's also like mentally very draining. So there's a lot of things. So we might look happy on camera sometimes, but you don't
behind the
know what we're
scene,
going on
true.
through. Yeah.
The first season finished. How do you see from your perspective the audience response, and how did you handle it?
So season one, when it came out, it was a bit overwhelming for me. I've been on YouTube. I've gotten
Yeah.
like international recognition, but not on a Netflix level. Netflix is like the next level, right? So it was very overwhelming. You know, so obviously you're gonna get good comments, but you also get bad comments.
True.
And if you get 100 good comments and you get 2 bad comments,
gonna
you
drive you
focus on the
crazy.
bad
True.
comments. And that's something that all of us are guilty of, and I hope one day that I'm learning now with season 2.
Yeah.
I'm learning to ignore the.
It's totally different than being a YouTuber. Also, you could get negative comments
Oh
on
yeah,
YouTube.
YouTube. There was this one time, this a Spanish YouTuber, she did a full video just saying really mean things about me.
No way.
Dedicated video just to me, and she was like going in, and then she got her followers to come into my page and leave really mean comments to me. So that
Are
was
you
my
serious?
and I cried. Like, I really cried. And that was my first online bullying experience on a very large scale. So I've hit, like, I think that doesn't get worse than that. You know, like a very known YouTuber doing YouTube videos about you. So then with Dubai Bling, obviously, like, it was like spamming mean comments that I was getting, comments on videos, on TikTok, on Twitter, you know, everywhere online. But when I would go out in public, never have I ever, till this day, knock on wood, had anyone come up to me and say, you know, I don't like
I
you.
was going to ask you the same question.
Never.
So always happen online. In real life, public,
Everyone,
Offline, no.
so much love online. People want to take pictures. They're friendly. So I always think like, are these like real people? I always like the comments that I get, the negative comments. I don't look at them as real people. I'm like, this is just an account. That's like, I don't see them as real people because real people have feelings and they don't want to hurt other people's feelings.
True.
So that's how I deal with it. But yeah, season 1, I feel like I was the villain. They portrayed me
Yeah, in
as the
that way,
villain.
yeah.
Because when I came on season 1, I was not supposed to be a main cast. I was supposed to be the wife of DJ Bliss.
Ah, okay.
So I came on, and then when they saw like my style, they saw my personality, they saw that I developed like a friendship with Ibrahim, we became really close. They're like, oh, we made a mistake. Like she should have been main cast. So then towards the end, they realized that and they gave me more scenes and stuff, but it was kind of like too late. Because the show was ending,
Yeah, portrayed it in a way.
so they couldn't really show who I really was. So I think it ended off me kind of being the villain. Initially, it was too much for me, but I learned to work with the cards that was dealt to me. And honestly, I worked with it great, and I got so many great like. Brand deals,
True.
Exposure. Like I took what they gave me and I worked with it and it worked.
Leveraged it.
I always tell like my brothers, my friends, I'm like, when an opportunity is in front of you, take it. I had the opportunity of Dubai Bling Netflix as a +1.
Yeah.
I took that opportunity. I changed I gave an effort to my style. I gave an effort to my personality. I gave so much because I'm like, there's not every day you get to be on Dubai Bling.
On Netflix.
So, don't take anything for granted. Nothing for granted. Never.
Right.
Even if it's like Dubai Bling, even if you're the star of a show, never take that for granted. Always be grateful.
Season 2 started. What should people expect from you? You said like, season 1, closer to the end, they start to portray, but season 2.
Season 2, you see a completely different Danya. You get to know me better, and it's not only me, it's the cast get to know me better, and they kind of like, oh, we misjudged her, she's actually a really nice person. So you definitely see the softer side to me, the more peaceful side to me, the entrepreneur side to me, the mother side to me, like all of these vulnerable sides. There's a lot of vulnerability that I have in season 2, where at season 1 I was like, the strong villain, unapologetic, and I'm still unapologetic, but in a nice way,
You're well known for your fashion in the fashion industry. What's your approach to fashion? You really wear a lot of hats. So going from this and that and fashion. What's your approach with fashion?
That's a good question. So fashion to me, I'm a very like expressive person in my words, the way I dress, in everything that I do. And when it comes to fashion, I don't have a specific like rule in fashion. I just dress the way I feel like that day. So if I feel like a queen, I'll dress like a queen. If I feel like, today I'm feeling down, I'll wear maybe like dark clothes. Like it just depends on my mood and what I like. And I don't like to follow trends. I don't like
I want to ask you, do you follow trends?
Absolutely not.
No.
If there's a trend in fashion,
I'm out.
I'll go the other way. I never like looking like the crowd. I like to look different all the time. And I think it starts from childhood, like the way my mom used to dress me. She used to like dress me very different than all the kids. She used to put like really unique pieces on me. So I think I like the attention I got as a kid with all the unique pieces. And that's just something that like has transcended into my fashion style till now.
Wow. You attend a lot of fashion events. Your presence in these fashion events, what kind of message you want to convey in the event? Being yourself.
So yeah, I go to a lot of events, and one thing is being true to my values and my morals. So if you look at the way I dress, everyone says it. This is something I didn't want to really promote. It's just who I am. I'm into modest fashion. So anything that I wear is modest because that's what I like. And I don't like to be, peer pressured in the industry. If you want to be in the fashion world, you need to show more skin. You need to wear this type of clothing. I will not allow anyone to pressure me. I can be fashionable and still be covered and still look good. And I think that's what I always try to show. And I think people are picking up on it, that who said that you need to show skin to be fashionable? You can cover everything and be the most fashionable person in the room.
Highly respect that.
Thank you.
Beauty and being a beauty influencer as well.
Yes.
What kind of message also you want to convey with this?
So I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? And beauty, there's so many different types of beauty, but the most beautiful thing, I know it's so cliche, but it's the beauty within. So I think people need to really, focus on being good people, kind people. That's where the beauty actually comes out. You can be the most beautiful girl on the outside, but if from the inside you're not a good person and you're not beautiful, people are eventually going to pick that up.
True.
And it's going to make you look ugly, right? So, I'm very transparent in all the beauty treatments that I do. If I do Botox, if I do fillers, if I do facials, I show it always on my social media. Even if you look at my YouTube videos, I show everything.
Yeah.
And I always want to show that you shouldn't be ashamed. Before, if someone post a picture of me with no makeup, I'd be like, oh my God, I look so ugly, delete it, whatever. Now, I'm like, it's okay, this is who I am. I accept myself the way I am, and I love myself the way I am. And I want girls to be able to love themselves the way they are, because no matter how you look, you're perfect the way you are, you're beautiful the way you are. Don't let the beauty standards that society has placed on us affect your mental health or the way you look. As long as you're happy with the way you look, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
A lot of people take the opinion of people too much close to their heart and actually make them stop in doing or pursuing their passion. I'll talk about your YouTube channel because it's a big channel. And if I ask you what kind of memory or a video that you have that you really, from the early times now, that really made an impact and has a close connection to you?
Definitely the video that went viral, the first viral video that I have, which is the video that has the most views right now. It's almost at 10 million views. And I think that video, I'm always thankful for that video, because I paid the makeup artist 350 dirhams that day. And that 350 was the best investment I ever made.
True.
Yeah. So that's the video.
You do a lot of collaborations with brands. If a brand comes to you, want to collaborate, what are you looking for? Values match? What kind of theme?
Yeah, so if a brand approaches me, there's me personally, I don't say yes to any brand. It needs to, make sense to me. Just because they pay me, it doesn't mean that I would go with them. There has to make sense. It should go with my brand. If a brand wants to work with me, it should make sense to go with my brand, because I'm a brand myself. And those are the things I look for, their values, their ethics, where have they invested their money into. I do a lot of background checks before
you collaborate.
Absolutely. Wow. But I've been lucky that the brands that have reached out to me have been
matching, fitting in a way.
Fitting, and also international brands that are well known. So it's easy to do research on them. If a brand reaches out to me and they're not very known, I really have to really make sure, do a lot of background research before I get into it, because it could be a scam and then I be associated with it. Because people think that, just because we're influencers and our life is easy, they just collaborate with brand and make money.
True.
No, they don't know that there's influencers that have collaborated with brands and ended up in jail.
True.
Right? So it's a big risk. It's you can get in a lot of illegal issues. So you have to be very careful. And it goes back to education.
True.
This all goes back to education. You need to be educated on what kind of brands to work with and what not to work with.
What kind of values do you have? It has to fit.
Absolutely, yeah.
We were talking before the podcast, the amount of things that we carry and we want to do, keep doing. So one of the things that you're doing now also is the podcast.
Yeah.
So tell us about it.
Oh yeah, that's my other business. I forgot. I forgot. See, I have
podcast.
You forget. It's a problem when you have so many that you forget one of them. So yeah, so I started my podcast, Meet My Friends, and
I love the name actually.
Thank you so much. So basically, the whole concept of my podcast is I want my audience to meet my friends and meet people that inspire me and shape me to who I am today. And different people from different walks of life shape me. So my first guest was Mr. Rizwan Sajan, which is the chairman of Danube Group. He's like a multimillionaire, billionaire. He's a very inspirational person. And I wanted people to watch that podcast that I had with him to see why he inspires me, because he's a very inspirational person. The second podcast I had was with Rami, and Rami is like, he's everything. He does so many things. He's like a life coach. He's been through leukemia. He survived leukemia at 25. Like, he has a very strong stories. So I do inspiring stories, and also people that are my friends, you know?
I want to ask you, so you're only getting on your podcast the people that you know?
Yes.
Yeah, very interesting approach, actually.
Yeah, but like maybe one day I'll get you safe on my podcast. Now that we've spoken,
True.
like I get to know you. Like you don't have to be my best friend.
Yeah.
You just have to be someone that I know. Like so.
Acquaintance, I know something about you.
Yeah. So I know you like enough that we've had a conversation that I know you would be great to come onto my
True,
podcast.
to give value to your
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
What do you want to achieve with this podcast?
I think what I want to achieve is inspiring others. You know, I think knowledge is something that should be shared. And if I learn something from you, I want my audience to learn it from you. If me and you had a conversation off camera about, you know, you being motivated and doing all these businesses, I want that conversation to come on my podcast, and I want my audience to hear that. Because if you're giving me value, I want that value to be sent to my audience as well.
Doing all these things, how do you balance being a parent?
That's the,
How?
I don't know. That's the question that everyone asks me, and I ask myself, I'm like, how are you doing this? Definitely a lot of coffee. Honestly, like coffee really helps. But I think women have superpowers. I
believe so.
I really
Yeah.
think so. If a woman can be pregnant for 9 months, carry a child for 9 months, give birth to a child, just that's a superpower. I don't think any man can do, with all due respect to men. And I think if she can do that, she can do anything. And I always remind myself, remember who you are. You are a woman, you are powerful, and you can do it. And I keep motivating myself, and my children are always my motivation. Every child I had, I wanted to do more. I think if I have another child, I'll want to do more.
more.
You know, they always inspire me. I want to always be a better person. I want to always be a better businesswoman. There's so many things, like every time anything I do, I always go back to my kids.
But it's not easy.
No, it's not. It's so hard. So the way I balance is, for example, like if I have a shoot, I'll take my kids with me to the shoot. So I'll spend time with my kids. They'll see.
And do the business part.
And I want to inspire my kids. I want my kids to be like, oh, my mom is an independent. Well, yeah, I am you know, my mom is a businesswoman. She's independent. She works hard, and I want them to see that it's okay to have I want my son Zayed to get married to a strong, independent woman.
True.
I want my daughter to grow up to become an independent woman, and I want to be that role model for my kids.
I love that. I respect that very much.
Thank you.
What is success for you?
So I think success for me is. That's a good question.
I'm always asking myself this question also.
I think I honestly think, for me, there's no definition to success. I feel like when I
changes,
hit
of course,
YouTube, that was success, because
Yeah.
that was my goal. I'm like, I want to get that 100K silver plaque, you know, that
true.
YouTube
Yeah,
gives.
exactly.
That was my goal, and I got it. And I'm like, okay, what's next? Okay, I want to get like, I don't know how many views on my channel over this amount, and I got that. So I think depending on your path in life, there's a point of success. Once you get that, you build another point of success. So like after YouTube, I'm like, okay, what's my next point of success? Netflix. That was another, you know, I leveled up. What's after Netflix? Maybe getting into movies, maybe acting. So maybe that's my next level of success. Same thing for education. High school was one level of success. Then getting my undergrad was another level. Then getting my master's. So it's always like, what definitions of success you put on yourself, not what anyone else puts on
True.
you, right?
There, you know, like I would say, like even teachers can say, like, I'm gonna be successful if I'm gonna be a good teacher for my students. Even
Absolutely.
that's whatever, people can think it's small or whatever, but that's for that person, that's success. When it's enough.
When is it?
When it's enough.
I don't know.
We talked about this off camera, and that's a really interesting topic. But
Yeah.
when it's enough for you?
I don't know.
I think it's never.
I think it's never.
Yeah.
And we were saying this is a sickness.
True, in a way, yeah.
It's a positive
Yeah.
sickness because we just want more and more and more. And it's not like money-wise, financially, we might be financially very stable, very comfortable, but we get bored quickly and we just want to, it's that, I don't know.
Sure.
It's that
Never-
drive
never
to do
ending.
more. And why should we stop? God gave us a brain to use it. We have hands, we have feet, we can do things. Why should we just, just because we're financially stable, why should we
And
just sit
done.
down and do nothing, right?
True.
Why not use what has been given to us?
You've been an influencer for a long time. What changed over time in influencers landscape?
That's a good question. I think influencing, and I don't like the term influencer,
yeah.
right? But it's placed
It's
on us.
influencing, and it's influencing people in a way.
Yeah, it is because you have a following. They
True.
watch what you do. I think the older I get, the more and the bigger my following becomes. I realize the heaviness of the responsibility that we have.
True.
So what I can do is be a better version of myself. I can't be the perfect person because that would not be who I am, because that would be fake. And people are smart. They can tell when you're being fake and when you're being
True.
real. I just can try to make myself a better person and hopefully inspire other people following me to be inspired to be a better version of themselves.
A lot of entrepreneurs will be watching us. What do you think the key skills that is needed to be an entrepreneur? Skills.
The key skills, I think being able to wear a lot of hats, being patient, and having passion.
Do you think one of the most important skills for an entrepreneur to be good in selling? Because a lot of, like gurus or whatever we see on social media, sell.
Yes.
It is.
100%. And it goes back to the idea of influencers.
Sure.
You think a product will work without an influencer? Absolutely not. Influencers are the new marketing, and people really underestimate influencers. And if you see Dubai Bling season 1, you see how some people try to look down on influencers, but really, who's going to sell your products? Influencers.
These days with their personal brand. If a person just graduated university now and asked you, should I start my entrepreneurship journey right away, or should I start a corporate job and? Why I'm asking this question, because I want to ask you, is everyone can be an entrepreneur, or it's for a specific DNA?
That's a very good question. I think it really depends on the person, but I would say go into a
Corporate role in the beginning, something.
Learn about the responsibilities, learn about the business. Like anyone, like if you talk to like billionaires that have like crazy amount of hotels, if they are successful, it's because they started as the bellboy in their hotel.
True.
And they did like all types of jobs to realize what makes a hotel successful. So if you want to be an entrepreneur in anything, at least work in that field. Understand the ins and outs of it, and then try to start your own business.
Actually, I come from the same school, because I believe you have to learn first how the business is done. You want to be a marketeer or open a marketing agency, work in a marketing agency, see the business model, see the process, see the revenue streams, and do it. I will revert back. Who's your inspiration?
Who's my inspiration in what? I have inspirations in business. I have inspirations in sustainability. Like in what?
In life.
Wow, that's a hard question, because I don't have one inspiration.
Okay, if I talk about your kids, in what area do you inspire you?
Oh, my kids.
Yeah.
That's the answer. My kids inspire me. Yeah, my kids are my inspiration. Yeah.
What legacy do you want to leave?
The legacy that I want to leave is Danya was a person that cared about this planet, cared about climate change, cared about sustainability, and she made a difference. I don't think I've gotten there, but that's my goal. I want to be able to make a change.
Why sustainability? Very interesting.
I care about the planet. I think, it's a topic that no one talks about, and climate change is real. and the world is changing and the oceans are drying up, and we don't have the greenery we used to have before. Like the climates around the world are just, the world is going crazy.
But it's been always like this?
No, I think now it's going at a rapid speed.
Okay.
It was always like that.
No, I mean your passion to it.
Oh, my passion. I don't know when my passion changed. I really don't know. I don't know when I decided to actually start caring about like the climate or sustainability. I'm not sure. That's you're asking good questions, Seif, because you're making me reflect on when was that shift that I started caring. I have no idea when it was, but what I know is
Suddenly,
right now, that's something that I
priority.
really, really care about.
For people who are looking to become a content creator, influencers, what kind of advice do you have for them?
Take the first step. Don't be scared. Do it. Even if you have one follower, even if you have 0 followers, eventually someone's going to see your content. Just do it.
True. What is this?
Oh, this is coffee from my new cafe.
Ooh, the Besties Cafe.
Oh, I forgot. I also have another business.
Yes.
I keep forgetting.
That's the latest business?
Yes.
Yeah. What is it?
So when you watch season 2 of Dubai Bling, me and Ibrahim, my friend on Dubai Bling, we go and we start a business together, which is called the Besties Cafe. And it's in SEIF in Dubai.
Wow.
And it's open now. So please check it out. It's a great place. And the concept started as an idea. It was just a joke. Like me and him were like, haha, wouldn't it be so funny if we started a cafe and called it the Besties Cafe? Because we call each other the besties. We're best friends. We're like, we're the besties. So it was just a concept. And then we're like, hey, let's just do it. Like, we took the first step.
And done.
And we did it. And it became successful. I mean, it's been open for a few months now. But it's because there was passion. We really wanted this to be successful. We believe in the brand, the Besties Cafe, and it's open now, and inshallah it's going to do well.
As I see in your eyes, you have a vision for it. What's the vision for it?
The vision of the Besties Cafe is just a cafe that brings best friends together. So your best friend can be your best friend.
Yeah.
It can be your parent. It can be your child. It can be your neighbor. It can be anyone. Anyone can be your best friend. And the whole concept is just to bring your best friend, have a coffee with them.
What should I order? I'm gonna go this weekend. So so what should I order?
It depends what you like. So we have like coffee. We have smoothies. We have like nice sandwiches. We have dessert.
Okay, I'm going.
Are you getting hungry?
Cool, yeah, I'm closing and going now. All the best with it.
Thank you so much.
What's a hidden talent or a skill do you have that nobody knows?
I can play basketball.
No way.
I swear.
Really?
I can play basketball, I can play volleyball, I can play football. And I was in all the sports teams in my high school years and in university. I pursued basketball further. But in senior year, I was voted the athlete of the year. So like that's something maybe a lot of people don't know.
That's why when we were talking before shooting, you told me like you prioritize sports in your day.
Yeah, sports is very important.
There is a section in the podcast called the Alpha Quickfire. So
Okay.
I'm gonna quickfire questions and everybody will be waiting for the answers.
Okay.
So are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl for sure.
Favorite fashion trend right now? She doesn't follow me.
I don't follow trends.
Done. Top beauty product that you can't live without?
I don't know, a lip liner. Because you can use lip liner as lipstick and lip liner.
Okay.
Multifunctioning.
Dream travel destination for a family vacation?
Ooh. It's not a dream vacation because I've already been there, but it's Japan.
Japan?
I went there with my kids, and it was the best trip of our as a family. And I would go there again and again and again.
Very interesting. Why?
It's just, honestly, I've been to Japan so many times, but I never went there with my kids. So this summer I went with my kids and they loved it. Every day we could go to a different theme park. There's Disneyland, there's Universal Studios.
But I didn't expect this answer at all. So
You didn't? What were you expecting?
Like Maldives, like the hearing, like Maldives. Okay.
Japan.
I love the non-standard things. Go to comfort food.
French fries.
Favorite city for shopping?
Ooh, Paris.
Favorite song on your playlist? Now,
Pink Matter by Frank Ocean.
best piece of advice you've ever received?
Best piece of advice that I've ever received. I think it was good advice, but it's also like, I told you this off camera, but the advice my mom gave me is you're young once, so work hard.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Your biggest challenge you faced as an entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh. The biggest challenge? I think maybe going in a business venture with a business partner that wasn't transparent and
Partners.
yeah, I think that's something that really people need to be very well aware of. If you're going into a business partnership, make sure you trust the person, make sure you know everything about them. Don't just go into a business partnership because the product works, but you don't know the person.
100%.
So yeah.
Your favorite book or TV series?
Favorite book so my favorite book is The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I love that book. TV series of obviously Dubai Bling.
Of course. Of course. If you had a time machine, which era would you visit?
Ooh, I love that question. Which era would I visit? Oof. Wow. That's a very good question. I don't know. I think the 70s.
The 70s.
It was such a shift in everything.
True.
And I think my dad is from the 70s. That's his
Yeah.
generation. So I would be
To
curious to
see what
see.
happened.
Yeah.
Your life biggest regret?
I don't believe in regrets.
A habit that contributed to your success?
Drive.
Your favorite car brand?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I don't know. Right now I have a McLaren, but I like my McLaren right now.
Yeah.
Maybe
right
tomorrow
now.
I'll like a Bugatti. Inshallah, one day I'll have a Bugatti.
Yeah. Favorite watch brand?
Watch? I would say classic Rolex. Yeah.
Favorite color?
Lavender.
What's an alpha for you?
Ooh. Alpha is a leader, a risk taker, a leader, a risk taker, and someone that stands out from the crowd.
What's new for you? What's coming next? Something that people will wait for.
My
Project.
podcast.
Ooh.
My podcast.
Yeah.
Safe on my podcast.
Done. Done. Wish you all the best with it.
Thank you.
What would be your final message you want to leave the audience with today?
I think my final message would be, please take care of this planet, take care of the earth, care about climate change, sustainability, the simple R's, reduce, recycle, and reuse. This is our planet. We only have one planet.
True.
And if we don't take care of it, we won't have another
It's
one.
gone.
Yeah.
We have a ritual in our podcast called the Alpha Talks Memoir. It's like a journal.
Okay.
The Alpha guest will do three things. The first one, the Alpha guest writes about the experience they had in the Alpha Talks podcast. The second is ask a question to the next Alpha guest. It's a way of connecting alphas together,
Okay.
but they don't know who's writing the question.
I like that.
And the third one, who do you recommend to be the next Alpha guest? Do you think that they can add value to the audience? But before moving to this, we'll do it after the shooting, is you answer the question from the previous Alpha guest. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like the concept.
When and why you cried the last time?
Ooh, when and why did I cry the last time? That's, there's been situations where I wanted to cry, but I didn't allow myself because of if I break down, khalas, everything will...
Done. Yeah, collapse.
Because like we were discussing off camera, we do so many things, we have so many hats. So I'm I have so many things that I'm carrying. And if I lose focus, everything's gonna fall. So, and I am not saying it's healthy, but that's where I don't remember the last time I cried, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You have absolutely strong character that I can see.
Thank you.
And I really enjoyed the podcast with you today. The interview was amazing. And I have to say one thing. You always have a perception, which you mentioned. I watched Bling first season. I'm not saying that you're a totally different person, but I love your character,
Thank you.
what I saw today, and the conversation that we had. And it will push me to see Bling 2, because I'm sure I will see the authentic you.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much for being with us today. It's been a pleasure and an honor, and I hope you enjoyed the experience.
I really did. Thank you for having me. It was a great podcast.
Thank you. And
Thank
of
you.
course, we'll have another one.
That wraps another inspiring episode of today's show. I hope that this episode has ignited your inner alpha and left you feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to conquer any challenge that comes your way. Remember, alphas aren't born, they're made. It isn't about dominating others, it's about embracing your authenticity, leading with integrity, and making a positive impact on the world. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the Alpha Talks on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review and share the podcast with your fellow alphas. Also connect with us on social media at SEIF Hakim. Share your thoughts, insight, and stories of personal and business growth with us. Let's create a movement of alphas supporting one another. The world needs more alphas like you exactly. Until next time, stay bold, stay driven, and stay alpha.